everyone who subscribed to me for normal reasons, and I apologize to people who subscribe to me for bald reasons. I'm going back to my roots. I'm going to some makeup videos. A couple of years ago, I had like a little series on my channel where I would go through makeup in my collection and palettes in my collection that I haven't really used in a long time, and I would make a concentrated effort to use that palette for that video. And I found that it was a fun way for me to creatively limit myself in a way and try to get the most out of that palette and hopefully fall back in love with that palette and use it and not just have makeup sit in my collection that is just collecting dust. And with the uncertain year that was 2020, I found myself not really buying any new makeup. And so coming into this new year of 2021, I find that I haven't really bought any brand new makeup. It's all just been repurchases of stuff that I already loved before. So when I was moving last month and I was packing up everything that was in my collection, I ended up throwing out a lot of foundations that I hadn't used and just becoming reacquainted with a whole bunch of makeup palettes that I hadn't used in a long time that were just sitting in my drawers collecting dust. So I thought that it would be a really fun challenge for me to participate in like a Project Pan sort of thing. If you're unaware of what Project Pan is, I'm not really certain who started it. I would say that it's a culture or a challenge that is sort of counterculture to our capitalist society where everyone in the beauty community is like buy, get the latest product, everything like that. It's more helping people focus on what they already own and have them commit to using up what they already own rather than just buying a brand new product. I think that sort of philosophy is really admirable, especially in a time where people are starting to become really critical of sustainability and their own purchasing habits and how marketing and everything like that goes all hand in hand into just making us slaves to buying new things. I'm not saying that I am divorced from wanting to buy new things all the time. I think that this challenge will just help me sort of become more aware of my purchasing choices, especially when it comes to makeup. So I have like 10 products in front of me. Some of them are like single products, other ones are palettes. In the palettes, I'm hoping to hit pan on like at least 5 eyeshadows in them. Some of them will be easier than others because I've already hit pan on stuff. And then some of the single items, I just want to hit pan and possibly use them up by the end of the year. We'll see how we go. The first brand that I want to use up some of their products of, because I think it goes hand in hand with this idea of sustainability and this sort of fast fashion makeup business that was created, is of course Colourpop. So I'm pretty certain that these products here that I'm holding in my hand, I bought them probably 5 years ago. I possibly bought them in 2016 when I just was starting to get into makeup, and having all of their palettes at such a nice price range really was the draw for me. The first product that I want to use up by them, I've already hit decent pan in, so I think it'll be really easy. This is just a bronzer by them, and it's literally called Bronzer on the back. As far as I'm aware, this product has been discontinued because it's not on their website anymore, and I have been using it in some of my videos, so I feel a bit weird putting into the comments or like my description that this is something that I use, but it's also been discontinued. Once I am done with this, I'm still going to keep the palette. I'll probably give it a really good clean though, because it's still a really good mirror. The next Colourpop item is like this blush duo. 1, this thing is dirty as hell, and 2, it's also been discontinued on their website as well. So it came with like this really pretty pink watermelon-y kind of shade of blush, and then it also came with like this orangey kind of highlight shade. You can't really see it. I want to commit to finishing up this shade because I do really like it, and possibly sort of getting a bit of a dent into this color. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a blush topper or if it's supposed to be a highlighter because it doesn't really shimmer as much. I will try and find a way to make this one work. And then following on from those Colourpop face palettes, this was one of their 12 pan eyeshadow palettes. This was the Good Sport palette, and I bought it because obviously the array of colors is really pretty in it. I'm wearing it on my eyes today. I'm wearing High Hopes, Trooper, and then Ebb in it as well. I've already made like some hefty dents in some of the colors, like the High Hopes color. It's fairly low down, and I'm hoping that I can possibly hit full pan on that one, as well as sort of make my way through some of the other shimmer shades as well, because they do tend to be really pretty. And then the second palette that I want to get through from Colourpop is this one. This is the California Love palette. Again, it has some really nice neutrals in there, really warm tone colors as well, which tend to be colors that I wear a lot. So I think it'll be easy for me to sort of make my way and make really significant dents in these ones. I know that this color here, like this really shimmering one, is really pretty to wear on the lid. So I'm hoping to make more utilization of like that one. I know that it's hard to like commit to wanting to wear a whole lot more makeup when obviously the world is shut down and we're not really going out as much, but I wear makeup like every day when I'm at work, so hopefully I sort of bring that creativity to my mornings and wear a whole bunch of other palettes. Colourpop are sort of one of the main culprits of having sort of a fast fashion approach to makeup production. I think that it's also important to recognize the sort of beauty community's hype around other palettes. So one of my other palettes that I have put onto this list is the Anastasia Soft Glam palette. Looking at this palette itself, I've actually hit well pan on burnt orange as well as on rustic. On this guy here, I've actually dropped it, so I lost half of the shadow, which is sort of a win for me. I can like sort of cheat a little bit and say that I used it up when I really didn't. I've made a little bit of a dent in Cypress Umber, and the Noir color, I've made a bit of a dent there. I feel like this will be one of the easier palettes to make more progress through, just because it's so versatile. I ended up using some of these shades on my eyebrows at one point, and I think it's really easy to travel with it still. Even though sort of like my two favorite colors here were almost completely gone, I would still put this in my bag when I was traveling anywhere or staying anywhere overnight, because I knew that this would be my go-to guy. Another palette that I was influenced to buy through social media was this one. This was the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. It was really popular 4 or 5 years ago. It was really popular. I've obviously hit pan on these two guys and then also on Cashmere. I've also hit a little bit of pan on Blazing. I remember liking the eyeshadows like in this palette, especially the color Cashmere. The shimmer shades in this were really nice, but I feel like I did have some troubles with like these sort of matte colors. When I was using them, I felt as if it was really hard to get my brush into it and get a really good color payoff out of it. So I'm hoping that if I use it a little bit more, and maybe there's just like an overspray layer on the top that's making it difficult, and then maybe there's good shadows underneath. I don't know. Hopefully I can commit to using this palette a whole lot more. The next palette is something that I bought kind of recently, like maybe 18 months ago. That's recent for me considering I haven't really bought anything new, but it's the Jeffree Star and Morphe palette. I don't care for Jeffree Star, okay? I don't care for him. I knew him when he was around on MySpace, where he had like those photos of him like throwing up fucking Fruit Loops onto the kitchen floor or whatever, and like that was his claim to fame. I don't care for him now, but I do love this array of colors. I'm sorry, like this shade here, What's the Tea? It's like a medium brown khaki, like it's hard to explain, but it looks so good on my eyes. I'm going to be devastated when I completely finish up this color, but it's fine. I've also hit major pan on Mr. Diva, which is nice because it's a really nice transitional shade. I haven't really played too much with like the pinks in the palette, which I think is one of the main draws to this palette. So I'm hoping to get a little bit more creative and use a lot more of those shades in here. So that was it for my eye sort of products that I wanted to use up. The next 3 items are going to be my sort of face items. If you've been watching my videos recently, you will be well acquainted with this blush palette. This is the Zoeva Aristo blush palette, and I absolutely love this color. I don't really use those two colors. If I go a little bit crazy on Demeter, I will pick up some of the lighter color here from Chloe and put that on my brush and try to apply it at the same time to sort of help it out. I don't really understand the purpose of this color because it's basically just like a matte white, matte cream kind of color. So usually I'll only use this one to lighten up this one if I've made any mistakes. My plan is to definitely hit pan on this one and see how far I can go through to finish it up. Otherwise, this Dysphonia one here in the middle, it's more of a shimmery color, so you can use it as like a blush topper or possibly a highlight. I don't really have the skin tone to pull off a highlight of that shade, so I think it'll have to be more of a a very vibrant, scary blush. I don't know. Another one in the way of cheek palettes is going to be this guy here. This is the Benefit Cheek Leader Bronze Squad face palette, basically. So it has the Hoola Bronzer, Hoola Caramel, Coralista, Gold Rush, and then Cookie. This palette was supposed to be popular at the time because Cookie was a color that's exclusive to this like face palette. I can count on one hand the amount of times that I used Cookie. Realistically, I could have brought these products separately and I would have saved money in the way of what products I've actually used. So, like, if you can see, I've only used Hoola and I've owned this palette for maybe 3 years now. My plan is to finish up Hoola and then also make way on to Gold Rush, just because this one here, I've made a fair dent in it. I think coming up into winter, this will be more of my color where I don't want to add too much warmth to my face and look crazy in the winter months. And then finally, the last product that I want to sort of completely finish up is going to be the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. This one was in the color Champagne Pop. As you can see, I've hit major pan on it and I want to completely use it up. Becca apparently is going out of business now, so I'm not sure if I see any colors like this that are going for cheap in their closing down sale. I might repurchase them just because I find that these keep for a long time, and I've probably owned this for 3 years and I've only recently started coming to like the very end of it. But anyway, those there are the 10 palettes or products that I want to completely use up or hit major pan on this year. This will be the start of my personal project pan. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more pan updates, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.